Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be doing another Double Masters draft. Okay, so there's our old pal Thespian Stage from the Thespian Stage Dark Depths, which I'm tempted to take because if Dark Depths is opened in this format, people will pass it because we're in Phantom. And there's also Hannah, Ship's Navigator. You can pay 3 mana, get an artifact or an enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. I cannot immediately think of anything she combos with, but I'm inclined to take her just to see if I can make her work. There's Buried Ruin, Golem Artisan, Sphinx Summoner. Sphinx Summoner or Hannah kind of fit us into a certain archetype, which is going to be like Esper artifacts. None of that's bad. Could take Thraben Inspector, it's just generically good. I think I'm fine with these. We'll take both of these. No guarantee we're doing Hannah's thing. Alright, Reshape and Sculpting Steel. Okay, well, I think of the two, Sculpting Steel is probably more powerful. There's also an Everflowing Chalice in this pack. Maybe I should take Reshape, because we're probably playing blue. We're almost certainly playing blue. Yeah, I'll take Reshape. Okay. Man, no one's picking their rares. Interesting. Riddlesmith seems very good. Whenever you draw a card, or whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card and then discard a card. It's just an incredible level of looting if we get some cheap artifacts. Ravenous Trap. Okay. Ravenous Trap's good if we were to run against someone who's playing a graveyard deck, but I don't know if that exists in this format. The pick here is either Sanctum Gargoyle or Ichor Wellspring, and I think we're taking Sanctum Gargoyle. I have a feeling there's going to be like some Thopter Foundry shenanigans in a deck like this, and with a sufficient number of Sanctum Gargoyles and Mirror Retrievers, you can just start creating loops and doing silly things, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to be going for here. Glint Sleeve Artisan is good. It's a good creature. I think I'm going to take Ichor Wellspring. I'm tempted to take Expedition Map, but like we're not doing Tron almost certainly, unless it just starts falling into our lap. And while it would be good with like Thespian Stage Dark Depths, there's no guarantee we're getting a Mythic, so we'll take Ichor Wellspring. Alright, there's an Everflowing Chalice, an Ash Barrens, an Iron Bully, and a Metallic Rebuke. I would take Metallic Rebuke if we had like 1 or 2 cheaper artifacts. Everflowing Chalice is very good with things like Riddlesmith and Reshape, so I'm definitely taking Everflowing Chalice. Ash Barrens would be nice for the fixing, but it's not totally necessary. Okay, so Glass Dust Hulk. Glass Dust Hulk is pretty good because we can buy it back with Hannah if we have to cycle it early, or Sanctum Gargoyle as an example. And Glass Dust Hulk and Riddlesmith kind of tell me that the blue-white artifact deck is about playing a lot of artifacts that are cheap, which I guess several of the decks are, so maybe that doesn't exactly inform me. I am going to take it, though, because it is quite good. Alright, Corridor Monitor, Eager Construct, or Ichor Wellspring. I am going to take Corridor Monitor, because we have 2/3 of the infinite combo. Plus, it's just good. Like, if we get a Basalt Monolith, Corridor Monitor can do crazy things. Tumble Magnet, Golem Artisan, or Buried Ruin. I'm actually really tempted to take Buried Ruin. If we have Riddlesmith, we're going to be... Riddlesmith, Reshape, and a card with Cycling tells me that we're going to want to have ways to buy back stuff from the grave. Golem Artisan is not a bad creature, though. I think if Golem Artisan could have given itself lifelink, I would have taken it. So we have Clone Shell, the top 4 cards of your library. This is a way to get card advantage, but it's better cheating out big things, and we do not have big things to cheat out right now, so I'll take Metallic Rebuke. If we can get a couple of cheap artifacts to put in this deck, like in the 0 to 1 mana range, Metallic Rebuke becomes very good. Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot's not bad. We can splash black to play it. It draws cards, which is kind of what we want to be happening. I would take Voice and potentially splash green, but I just think Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot's probably better. Okay, I'm going to take Pongify. Pongify is kind of underrated when it comes to removal. Vidalcan Infuser, never bad to have one. In any deck that is going to have at least 1 artifact with charge counters, having access to a Vidalcan Infuser is just good. Cloud Reader Sphinx is not a bad force at all. Ooh, we get a Master of Ethereum. Master of Ethereum is quite strong. Power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts you control, like modern affinities to run this card. And it's good. I don't think I will take Flooded Grove. The pick to go with Master of Ethereum, kind of sad that we have to try and wheel a Mirror Retriever or Sanctum Gargoyle. Hopefully one of those comes around. We either take Darksteel Citadel, or we take Thirst for Knowledge. Darksteel Citadel helps increase our explosiveness with Master of Ethereum, or, what is it? I don't think it actually triggers Riddlesmith. Helps, with, like, Reshape, not really Metallic Rebuke. I guess we're gonna go Thirst. Thirst is just a more powerful spell, I think, and I'm hoping Darksteel Citadel comes around, or we get more, access to more as we go around. Okay. Now, first off, Ad Nauseam. How you doing? Love Ad Nauseam. I used to play that combo deck for ages. There's a Shroom the Hegemon, which we are going to be Riddlesmithing. We have a reason already to splash black. And there's a Sphinx Summoner, which hopefully that comes around because that tutors for Shroom. I would not mind a Metallic Rebuke or a Lightning Greaves, but I think this is actually a deck where we can play Shroom and get some good value out of him. So, Inkwell Leviathan. All right, now we're talking. Now we're doing big Esper artifacts. We're going to be looking for some Magnifying Glasses and Everflowing Chalices to come around, but I am going to take Inkwell here. It's just too strong not to. Academy Ruins. Wow. Okay. I don't think I can play Well of Ideas. I don't know if I can make this work. Giving my opponents extra cards, even if I'm getting more extra cards than they are, it's tempting. It really is tempting, but I don't think I can make it work. I'm going to take Academy Ruins, because this effect is unique in the rare slot and is very powerful, and we are going to have artifacts in the grave, so I think it's going to help quite a bit. Plus, if we get a Mesmeric Orb, it's a win condition in itself, which is silly, but it is. Okay, so there's a Chromatic Star, which helps with our fixing. There's a Mishra's Bauble, there's a Springleaf Drum. We don't have a ton of early game artifact creatures or anything, so Springleaf Drum's a little bit worse. It's still good because we are 3 colors, and having that fixing is really good. I would not mind to Remember the Fallen. We're not playing Tron, so I'm going to take Chromatic Star. It's, I think, the best for right now. Okay, Rush of Knowledge, Throne of Geth, Flayer Husk. So Rush of Knowledge is good because we do have a few big artifacts. Like, even if we get an X4, it is quite strong. The Throne of Geth is interesting with Ichor Wellspring, Chromatic Star, and Everflowing Chalice. If we can get another Everflowing Chalice, Throne of Geth can actually ramp us really hard. Metallic Rebuke is not bad. We already have one. Culling Deus we don't have enough creatures for it, so it's either Rush of Knowledge or Throne of Geth. I'm gonna go Rush of Knowledge. I think this card's better in the general case. Surge Node, I like having access to a Surge Node. We have enough creatures right now that I don't want to take Sickle Slicer. Glint Sleeve Artisan is good. We are heavy blue, so Hinder wouldn't be bad either, but Surge Node helps get us explosive. Meddling Mage or Thopter Foundry. Well, Thopter Foundry... Oh, and there's an Oval Chase Daredevil. Oh, I think Thopter Foundry is going to be way better in the general case. It's just going to be a lot stronger. Oval Chase Daredevil, though, because like we have Riddlesmith as a discard outlet, as well as Thirst for Knowledge. This card is really strong because you just buy it back whenever you play an artifact. But we got to go Thopter Foundry, though. I think Thopter Foundry is just generically better, which sucks because I have not gotten to play with Oval Chase Daredevil yet, so I hope there's one in the next pack we can take. Supernatural Stamina, I'll take. I'm not thrilled about it. We are playing things that cost way too much to play Ad Nauseam ever, so Metallic Rebuke it is. Vampire Hexmage, probably not. I will take another Vidalcan Infuser. I'm probably not going to play him. Same with Well of Ideas. Remember the Fallen isn't bad. The good news is, how many cards do we have in our sideboard currently? None. So out of our deck right now, there are like 3 cards I don't see us playing. Every other pick we've made is a card that's probably going into our deck. So whatever we're doing, whatever this strategy is, it seems like it's open. Okay, there's Karn. I'm absolutely going to take Karn, and I'm absolutely going to take an Everflowing Chalice. If I can get like 1 or 2 more Chalices, which that'd be just fantastic if I could do that. Would not mind a Welding Jar either, but we're definitely doing this. Jace. I mean, like, let's just play like... let's just play like the best Planeswalkers in a blue deck, like, right? Yeah. Someone passed to Jace the Mind Sculptor, which must feel really bad because they were definitely not in blue. Oh man, so Alright, so we're doing like crazy artifact reanimator control with Planeswalker shenanigans, and I love it. I've really got a feeling that this is going to be the Three Stooges deck. It's going to be Jace, Shroom, and Karn. Like Mo, Larry, and Curly. Alright, okay, Sarah Sphinx is very good. We are a little light on creatures. I would not mind Nicker Wellspring, but we would also take Apprentice Wizard, which would help like ramp out some of our bigger things. But Sarah Sphinx is just, it's a Sarah Angel, but blue, so it's better. Okay, in this pack we have a Glass Dust Hulk and a Parasitic Strix. There is also a Cathodian, which we can use with Thopter Foundry to actually get like more mana. I think I'd probably take the Hulk. There's no way I can get Tron in pack 3, it's just not going to happen. Parasitic Strix, we have no black permanents other than Shroom. And I guess Thopter Foundry? Yeah, we're going to take Glass Dust Hulk. Another Thopter Foundry. And Magnifying Glass. Crap. I want another Thopter Foundry. Odds are we do not need more than one. So I'm going to take Magnifying Glass. It's ramp, it's card advantage. We have big things, we need ramp. Take a Magnifying Glass. Pretty sure it's one of those things I said I was looking for. I'm actually willing to take another Magnifying Glass here. Fairy Mechanist is good. Is really good. But, considering we have some 6 and 7 drops, I'm probably not playing Well of Ideas, but we'll see. I'm gonna take another Magnifying Glass here. Sanctum Gargoyle is good. Probably not a Relic Runner deck. There's a Rush of Knowledge. Accomplished Automaton seems costly. Springleaf Drum's probably good enough. We have some 2-drop creatures. We do not have that many creatures. Could take Costly Plunder. I think I'm gonna take Costly Plunder, actually. We have very light splashes into white and black. So I think we're probably fine. Everflowing Chalice came all the way around. Cheers, applause. Let's do it. Treasure Mage. Treasure Mage can get Shroom, but that's it. Oh, Inkwell too, but I think we take either Gleaming Barrier or Apprentice Wizard. And I'm going to go with Gleaming Barrier because we have Thopter Foundry. Okay. This is almost a Disciple of the Vault deck. I will take an Apprentice Wizard. Heartless Pillage, going to be kind of hard to turn on, so we're going to take Cloud Reader Sphinx. Metallic Rebuke number 3. I think we take a Steel Sabotage for the sideboard. And an Angel of Dawn, which we could technically play. Okay. We have almost 40 playable cards. I hate being in situations like this. I hate having so many playable cards because I always tend to like bungle it up a little bit. I guess, you know what, this is practice. We're gonna look at this like it's practice. So, what are we doing here? We're keeping all of the ramp. Anything that's ramp in this deck stays. Because we have Inkwell, Karn, Shroom. Remember the Fallen seems actually like it might be kind of good, but I'm gonna cut it for now. Pongify can actually be situational. Glass Dust Hulk I actually really like because it cycles super early. I'm gonna cut in a Vidalcan Infuser. I don't like having more than one of them in any given deck. I guess maybe having 2 would be good because we have 3 Everflowing Chalices, but that's what Surge Node's for. Wow, I might have to cut the footage here and take a while and think about this, because I have to cut 10 cards. That's not going to be easy. I think Hannah might be too slow. Maybe not. Yeah, no, I'm going to cut the footage. I'm going to cut the footage and we'll return later. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. This is just going to take me way too long for this other stuff I've got to do this morning. Alrighty, now, this is what I ended up with. So, I ended up having to cut most of our interaction. So, the idea here is because we have 3 Everflowing Chalices and a Surge Node and a Magnifying Glass, we want to take as much advantage of like Riddlesmith, Master of Ethereum as possible. So we want to be as proactive as we can, because playing 2 Everflowing Chalices into a Jace is really good, and trying to get up to like this area quickly is basically the plan. Once we're here, we can try and stall out the game long enough to get to here. We basically only have Pongify as removal, like, for creatures, and we're not playing it because if we get to this section of the game, we don't need removal, we're just going to beat face harder than our opponent is. Hopefully, that is the plan. Jace unsummons like our only main deck removal, or Karn, and if we play Karn and we're vindicating permanence, we're winning the game, believe me. Actually, it might end up, I hope in this league we get to restart a game with Karn, because that would be the nuts. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 1. Alright, here we go. Alright, we have 2 of our 3 colors, albeit our less used of them, but hey, we can still cast Thopter Foundry off of that if we get it. And we have a Riddlesmith, so I'm going to keep. This might be a situation where we hold on to Everflowing Chalice until we can cast it X2. When it plays a Blinkmoth Nexus to start, we draw another Everflowing Chalice. Okay, so start Island, pass the turn. I think we definitely play 1-on-1 and then another 1-on-2. It might be worth playing Riddlesmith first. We'll see. Opponent is going to get in with a Blinkmoth Nexus for 1. We're going to go to 19. Yeah, I think the play here is to play Riddlesmith first, unless we draw something huge, which Surge Node kind of counts. Alright, we're going to play Riddlesmith first because we want to draw into our bigger threats we can play off of Everflowing Chalice. If our opponent is just going to keep animating a 1-1 or playing feeble creatures to get in with a very slow clock, we need to draw something big as soon as possible. Okay, opponent plays a Blade Splicer. We untap, we draw Inkwell Leviathan. There's our big something huge. So play a Swamp, and let's... Everflowing Chalice, X1. Okay, we loot. Alright, we're gonna ramp into a Inkwell. We're gonna discard Hannah. Okay, down comes the Chalice. Now we can either play a Chalice, another Chalice on 1, and loot again. We can play Corridor Monitor, untap Chalice, and play Surge Node. Or we can play Surge Node and Surge Node to counter onto Everflowing Chalice. Surge Node's mana neutral, and next turn we can play a huge Chalice. Opponent still does not have that fast of a clock, so I think Surge Node is the play here. Okay, we get to loot. We are looking for another island. If we need to, we can Thespian stage an island, but Academy Ruins. Yeah, I don't think we need Academy Ruins this game. We're just going to pray our opponent does not have any like main deck topple the statues or anything crazy like that. Alright, pass the turn. We are kind of hoping to draw land, I think. Alright, opponent plays an Iron League Steed. That is a significant upgrade to their clock. Opponent is going to attack for 5. Alright, we take 5, we go to 14. If we can get down a Corridor Monitor relatively quickly, we should be fine. Okay, another island is really good. Play an island. Now, we can get Everflowing Chalice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 mana. We can play an Everflowing Chalice X3. I don't actually think that's the play. I think what we do here is we Surge Node onto Everflowing Chalice, float mana, play Corridor Monitor, loot, don't need another island, discard the island. Okay, untap Everflowing Chalice, cast Everflowing Chalice X3, loot, discard Swamp, cast Everflowing Chalice X2, loot, discard Buried Ruin. Getting rid of all of our ways to get back artifacts from the grave. Yeah, that was way better than the naive play of just playing a... we're gonna have this be living the Splinter Twin dream. That's what our opponent asked us. Oops. Alright, opponent has a cranial plating. Alright, at this point we're willing to sacrifice our pawns. We don't need them anymore. They animate Blinkmoth. Okay, opponent is going to have a fast clock in the air, which is a problem. We can clone Blinkmoth and then use it to block, but we're taking at least 2 hits if we do that. Okay, block there, trade there, take 6. Draw an island. Play an island. Because this is mana neutral, we're doing this. Play Inkwell. Clone Blinkmoth. Pass the turn. so what could we draw here that would be good? I don't think we have anything with lifelink. Thopter Foundry. Thopter Foundry would be excellent. Thopter Foundry would give us a bunch of blockers and a bunch of life. So we're only going to take 5 off of a Blink Moth activation this time. Never mind, we're going to take 6. Opponent does not have a path, at least, this turn. I think, though, even with an Ink Moth, or Blink Moth here, blocking here and blocking here, we'd take 2. We're taking 6 this turn. We're still dead unless we draw something here. Okay, so we go to 2. That extra artifact token there really got something. Okay, Sanctum Gargoyle is excellent. Is there anything that we can pick up out of the grave with it? There's not. All of that looting, and there's not. Oh, we can't even play Sanctum Gargoyle. I got all excited. I was like, oh, that's something that gets us out of here. Alright, well, we're gonna hold back and see if our opponent flunges. If they attack, they see the line. But, like, maybe we can pump fake them out here. Getting all excited about a card I can't even cast. It's Kanoism right there, if there ever was one. So, it's been pointed out to me that I spend too much time narrating what's actually going on, when the more interesting portion of this is my thought process. I hope that this video is a little bit better in that respect, and I'm trying to focus more on what I'm thinking about, while still keeping a little bit of what's going on explained. My opponent is deep in the tank, meaning they will probably find the line, unless they are completely distracted by something else. Okay. They animate Blink Moth. They did not equip. Okay. Yeah, they found it. Just for funsies, though, we'll block. Alright. So, Steel Sabotage seems like it might be good in this matchup. It's probably better than Metallic Rebuke, actually. I think having another creature that's high toughness is worth it. I think we want Gleaming Barrier here. And I'm going to drop... What am I going to drop for a Gleaming Barrier? I think I'm going to drop Hannah. We need more stats on the board than she provides. Her effect is strong, but we also have Academy Ruins. So that might be a permanent addition that we make, is something over Hannah, Ship's Navigator. Alright, I'll play first. Yeah, I mean, this seems pretty good. Unfortunately, no white for the Sanctum Gargoyles, but this should be a decently sized Master of Ethereum. So we start Island Surge Node. Pass the turn. Kind of hoping to draw plains. Opponent starts Forest. No play. We draw another island. Perfect. So this lets us do our Everflowing Chalice play. Everflowing Chalice Surge Node, good mana engine. Something strong enough that I've actually played it in Modern. And with redundant Everflowing Chalices in the form of Astral Cornucopias, which are quite strong. Okay, opponent plays an Ancestral Blade. We draw a third island. Not really where we want to be, but, you know, whatever. Play an island. Let's go ahead and take up Everflowing Chalice and play a Master of Ethereum. So, Master of Ethereum, just large enough to block. Still really praying for a Plains right now, so we can get these Sanctum Gargoyles out there and start getting aggressive. Any artifact we could play, though, would still be good here. Opponent attacks. We have an Academy Ruins. If they spend their turn on a combat trick here, that's fine. Yep. Okay. So we take 1. Also, if we draw a Plains, Sanctum Gargoyle makes this okay. Like, it's still no Plains. Alright. Surge Node the Everflowing Chalice. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest. That's fine. Whether or not they play something... let me think about Academy Ruins here. Academy Ruins still only gets us back a 3/3, which they have enough mana they can just waste their turn and mana on a combat trick to get through a Master of Ethereum. I think we need to try and draw Plains. We don't have that many in the deck, but like a Chromatic Star would do it. Master of Ethereum... Yeah, we need to draw something that isn't Master of Ethereum. But it also can't be an island. I should have specified. Well, the good news is, I'm pretty sure we can hardcast an Inkwell Leviathan at this point. Reshape would be good. We are running out of time, though. Actually, if we could get Reshape, we could get Shroom, and then reanimate Master of Ethereum as well. I feel like that would be pretty sweet. So we have good draws. We have plenty of draws that are better than Master of Ethereum. So we're not Academy Ruinsing because of that. Opponent is just making more creatures and beating us down, which is a better plan than whatever. Oh god, than whatever we're doing. Cranial plating. It's always bad when you're doing the math and you're like, all right, I got 3 turns, and then your opponent plays cranial plating and you're like, all right, I got 1 turn. Yep, that's a lot of damage. All right, come on, reshape. Come on, Inkwell. Come on, planes. Come on. Oh god, why? Why Naginata? No! Deck! You have one job. And that job is drawing things that win me the game. I mean, we're super dead. So, I could have been throwing Master of Ethereum on top to block, which would not work with my opponent having a golem that has first strike. So, I think what we were doing was correct. I just think we needed to draw something other than an island. We made a ton of mana. We could have done sweet things. So, alright, we learned some things here. Unfortunate that our first match had to turn out that way. However, we learned valuable information for the rest of the draft. Never be afraid to do this when you're drafting. First off, we do have things that are double blue, and things that are double blue and powerful, but they aren't until 4, 5, and 9. Or in the technical case when we want to reshape, like 7. So having less blue sources here makes sense. We're going to cut 2 islands, and we're going to add 2 plains. Even though the Moto Shuffler's like, you shouldn't do that. It's fine. I think I'm fine actually going down to 1 swamp and adding an island back in. That is if Moto doesn't... Okay, yeah. Add an island back in. So my rationale behind this is the only thing that we need a swamp for is Shroom, which is not likely. We're probably going to reanimate him, or we're going to reshape into him, and even if we don't, we have a chromatic star that we can recycle through various means that we can use to get black mana. Alternatively, the super tertiary backup black mana plan is Thespian Stage if my opponent is playing it. Okay, in addition, we're going to cut Hannah. Hannah does not, unless we're in a super dirtily matchup, Hannah is probably not where we want to be. I think what we're going to do is we are going to main deck either Ichor Wellspring or Gleaming Barrier. Ichor Wellspring, good with Thopter Foundry, good in the general sense, just draws us more cards. So I think Ichor Wellspring's where we want to be. If we come up against an aggro deck, this is like a 1-1 trade with Gleaming Barrier, pretty easy. So, we've learned. Let's get back in the saddle, and I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, round 2, here we go. Good start. We're going to keep. Opponent starts Mountain. We draw Metallic Rebuke. So, we start Island and Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. Dark Confidant. Alright. Opponent has card advantage. So, I think what we're going to do... Normally, I would Everflowing Chalice here. I think what I'm going to do is, because of my opponent's extreme card advantage they've got going on here, I need to slow them down a little bit until I can get the Sphinx out. I think holding up Metallic Rebuke now is more important and will do more in the long run than proactively ramping here. Okay? Unlicensed Disintegration is not what you want to see when you're casting mid-range threats. So, opponent gonna get in for 2. Next turn, we can play Everflowing Chalice and hold up Metallic Rebuke. Alright, we get a Plains. So, play a Plains. Everflowing Chalice, kicked once. Okay. Pass the turn. If we can get to a situation where we can hold up Metallic Rebuke and play the Sphinx... Oh my gosh, Bob and 6-drops do not get along. Opponent plays a Bloodshot Trainee. We could counter this, but given that it's only a 2-3, I think we're fine. Opponent gets in for 2. We untap, we draw Plains. We technically have Sphinx mana now. We'll play a Plains. We're going to wait. Okay, Confidant. Another unlicensed disintegration. Oh my gosh. They play a swamp. They get in for 4. And greatness at any cost, am I right? Rapacious Dragon. That is a problem with the Sphinx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We play another land. We would need an Everflowing Chalice on 0 to hold a Metallic Rebuke. I think we have to just rebuke this now. Opponent is holding 3 very scary cards. We're going to have to make them use them. Okay, hang on. Let's crack for white. Draw a card. Everflowing Chalice, okay. We could almost play Everflowing Chalice on 3, then play Sanctum Gargoyle. Let's see. So we can cast Serra Sphinx. It's just going to eat a murder, like 100%. Sanctum Gargoyle cannot buy back Serra Sphinx. We can Sanctum Gargoyle using 4 mana, picking up Chromatic Star, playing Chromatic Star, and holding up Chromatic Star activation to draw another card. Or we can... They don't have an artifact to sacrifice for Kuldaltha Flame Fiend, meaning that they'll have to use an unlicensed disintegration. I'm just hoping they don't have an artifact to play as well as an unlicensed disintegration. So we could play Everflowing Chalice, kick twice here, play a land, play Sanctum Gargoyle, and then just hold a Chromatic Star. That's probably better. So play this, play land, play Sanctum Gargoyle, pick up Chromatic Star. Okay, pass the turn. Bob finally hits a mountain. That's not good for us. So they play a swamp. Oh, they're still holding a mountain. The unlicensed disintegration, they're going to get in for 4 here. We're going to have to get a little bit lucky on our opponent's stuff here. Karn. Karn is not something they can just kill us with us having. So we can play Karn, take out Bloodshot Trainee, which substantially changes their clock. So play Chromatic Star, crack it for blue. We get a Glass Dust Hulk. Play an island. I think we gotta play Karn here. We're gonna take out Bloodshot Trainee. They might be able to kill Karn with a Flame Fiend activation. Okay, they hit a swamp. They're holding a mountain still. They played a mountain, so they're still holding the swamp. Attack us for 2. We untap. Draw Ichor Wellspring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can play Serra Sphinx and Glass Dust Hulk this turn. So I'm going to take out a card from my opponent's hand. It's a swamp. Okay. Play Thespian Stage. Play Serra Sphinx. Play Glass Dust Hulk. And pass the turn. Opponent reveals a Braid. Doesn't take out our creatures. They play a swamp. We will have to block Confidant now. And that will give them the ability to kill a creature with a Braid. Something we must be aware of. Okay, opponent attacks. We are going to block with Glass Dust Hulk because they could just destroy a target artifact with a Braid. Which it looks like that's what they're doing. Okay. They do have Unlicensed Disintegration. They use it. Okay, we untap. We draw Inkwell Leviathan. Do we plus or minus? I think we have to minus to stay alive. Inkwell has Shroud, so they can't just kill it. So we kill Painsmith. 7... We're 1 mana short of Ichor Wellspring and Inkwell. 5... Okay, play an Inkwell Leviathan, pass the turn. Good news is, Inkwell is immediately lethal. Pyrite Spellbomb does turn on Kuldaltha Flame Fiend. If they have an artifact they can play with Kuldaltha Flame Fiend, and can play and crack Pyrite Spellbomb. I don't think they have enough mana to do all of that. It's possible. They can use Flame Fiend to kill Karn. Probably what they're doing here. Oh, we got there! It only took like multiple rares and mythics, but we got there. Also, opponent flipping lava axing themselves off of Bob. Alright, opponent is very, very aggro, so Ichor Wellspring out, Gleaming Barrier in. Opponent does have some large creatures, so it's possible we do want Pongify. I think a Metallic Rebuke might be better. Okay. We're going to try with just that swap. We're going to see what happens. Opponent is main decking a Braid. That is bad for us. Almost. That's a mulligan. This is substantially better. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to ship an island. Nope, nope, nope. I'm going to ship a swamp. Okay. Opponent plays a swamp, passes. We draw Magnifying Glass. Okay, not a bad draw. I think we cycle Glass Dust Hulk. So play an island, pass. The slower our opponent's hand, the better off we are. So if our opponent stumbles, which I doubt it because they kept 7, but if our opponent stumbles, we're in a good place. Alright, opponent plays a Confidant. Cycle Glass Dust Hulk. We get an Inkwell. We draw Island. So play an island. Kick once. That might be a mistake. We might have wanted to play Magnifying Glass next turn and then kick that twice the turn after. But seeing a Braid, I want to limit the number of... Yeah, okay, that's fine. I get in for 2. They did reveal a Painsmith. So we're going to play Buried Ruin and then Magnifying Glass. Pass the turn. This does let us play Sphinx. Darksteel Axe unfortunately lets our opponent... that and Painsmith lets our opponent trade with Sphinx very easily. We take 2, we draw planes. So play a planes, play Sphinx. I think our opponent is getting too far ahead and is far too aggressive here. I am going to make some adjustments. Opponent plays a swamp after revealing a mountain. So Painsmith, they're going to pump a creature. It's Bob. They lose a life and draw a card. Disintegrate us for damage. Get in for 7. We take 7, go to 6. Alright, I don't think we have a draw that gets us out of this. Opter Foundry? Maybe? Play an island. Play Thopter Foundry. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent draws another mountain. They play a mountain this time. Darksteel Axe. Pumping Ravenous Intruder. A second Painsmith. Alright. Has my opponent played only uncommons? No. Okay. Gonna say. They go to combat. They attack. So we sack here. We could sack Thopter Foundry. I do not think we do. Okay, we have to block here. Actually, do we? Yeah, we have to block there. Okay. Oh, never mind. Didn't matter. We had to block there, actually. I was totally forgetting. I was like, this isn't a Tog. Alright. So we would have sacked Buried Ruin end step to pick up Everflowing Chalice, and we were drawing Academy Ruins. So that would have meant we would have kicked Everflowing Chalice twice, sacked to get 2 blockers, and probably still died. Okay. I'm going to bring in Pongify, and I kind of want more blockers, but I don't know if I can get more blockers anyway. Pongify might not actually do it. I think we just need a better hand than we had. So I'm going to leave Pongify out. Hopefully I don't regret that. Alright, we'll play first. All 3 colors of mana, Metallic Rebuke, Everflowing Chalice. Alright, we'll keep. Start Island. Pass the turn. I will be cycling Glass Dust Hulk. But it starts Swamp. Okay, Surge Node is a good pickup. Shroom, which we should be able to cast with on a relatively short order here. So play that, play Surge Node, pass the turn. Praying my opponent does not have a Braid. They have a Painsmith. Okay. Draw Sanctum Gargoyle. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can play Sanctum Gargoyle, but I don't think we do. I think we just charge up here and then Metallic Rebuke whatever they play, because that should get us to Shroom next turn. It at least gets us to Cloud Reader Sphinx, which should be good against our opponent here. Okay, they play O Naginata, which I am going to rebuke. That'd be way too much damage, way too fast. Okay, opponent gets in for 4. We untap. Draw an island. Perfect. So now we can play Shroom and pick up Glass Dust Hulk. If anything dies, we can Sanctum Gargoyle it back. Opponent plays a Swamp. They have Dismantle. Okay. We draw a Corridor Monitor. Surge Node here. Play... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should not have Surge Noted with the island. I could have Corridor Monitored into Cloud Reader Sphinx. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Cloud Reader Sphinx. We don't have to do that right now. We're going to attack first. Okay, go Scrying. We do not want a Thespian Stage, and I don't think we want another Sanctum Gargoyle, so I'm going to put that back. Pass the turn. Put a Plays of Mountain into a Rapacious Dragon. Okay, no attacks. We draw Plains. Play a Plains. So tap here. Surge Node with its own mana. Corridor Monitor. Untapping here. Pumping Glass Dust Hulk. Sanctum Gargoyle. Picking up Shroom. We're going to play Shroom. No targets. Because we're just going to put the pressure on as high as we can get it. Get in with everybody. Opponent takes a bunch of damage and goes to 8. Opponent does have 4 cards in hand, so... What are we looking for? We're looking for Reshape, we're looking for Thirst for Knowledge, we're looking for a bunch of stuff. Riddlesmith might do it. I'm actually not going to play out Riddlesmith right now. Right now we just attack. So, opponent almost certainly has Unlicensed Disintegration. Yeah, we knew that was happening. Because opponent has 2 of them. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really bad. That is not something I could have predicted. So they're going to get 2 Unlicensed Disintegrations. They're going to take out their 2 biggest threats, which is probably this and Cloud Reader Sphinx, if I'm being honest. They can double block a Glass Hulk, and they can throw Rapacious Dragon in front of Sanctum Gargoyle. They're going to trade most of their board, and they're going to lose their ground guys. Okay, we take a bunch. Opponent trades, opponent trades and blocks, takes 1. Alright, well we're playing a Riddlesmith. Pass the turn. Our best bet right now is drawing like a Thirst for Knowledge or Reshape still. Oh, hang on, turn off auto yields. We're going to take 3, go to 7. At their end step, Surge Node, untap, draw Plains. So attacking with Riddlesmith right now actually is helping them. So we're just going to pass. We're going to not play out the Plains because that gives us the out of drawing an artifact and looting into something that's good. Okay. Opponent's going to attack for 3. If they have Kuldotha Flame Fiend, we die immediately. But there's nothing we can do about that. Another Rapacious Dragon. Alright, well we've got to have something this turn or we lose. Surge Node. Gleaming Barrier. Alright, go looting. Inkwell does not do it. How disappointing. If we had gotten this a turn or 2 ago, we would have been fine. Yeah, Sarah Sphinx is on top of our deck. Well, that is unfortunate. Opponent's deck is incredibly powerful. Multiple Painsmiths, very aggressive, good aggressive equipment in the form of like Darksteel Axe, multiple Unlicensed Disintegrations, and a Braid. I just think that was an incredibly tough matchup. I'm glad we got a game, and I'm glad we got to cast Karn, but I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, round 3, here we go. Okay, I think we keep. We're really looking for an Everflowing Chalice, which fortunately is one of our best cards that we have the best chance to draw. Buried Ruin helps a little bit. I'm not going to play out Surge Node. It could technically give us a more explosive play if we happen to get Everflowing Chalice. However, I'm looking to get some value of it off of Riddlesmith. Okay, if I play out Riddlesmith, odds are they're just going to kill it. They're not really doing anything that is a threat to me right now, so I'm actually just going to pass. Opponent will not have time to activate Pyrite Spellbomb in between Riddlesmith casting Surge Node, so we should get at least 1 loot out of it. Okay, opponent plays a Defiant Salvager. We draw a Cloud Reader Sphinx. Okay, so play an island, play Riddlesmith, Surge Node. We'll go looting. Jace the Mind Sculptor. We'll discard a Plains. Get a Surge Node. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent kills Riddlesmith. If they sack Puzzle Knot for damage, we're just going to unsummon with Chains. Alright, Orcish Vandal. and another Spell Bomb. Okay, we get hit for 2. We untap, we draw Corridor Monitor. So we can play out Corridor Monitor this turn by playing Buried Ruin, playing Magnifying Glass, and then Corridor Monitor to untap Magnifying Glass, I guess. This just lets us get down... The untapping portion of that was not important. This just lets us get down something that hopefully we can use to block. We're almost to a Karn. I would like to get down Jace, but our opponent does have a lot of direct damage. Like, they could do 2 at our end step, untap, and do 4 on their turn if they have another artifact. Okay, they cast down the Corridor Monitor. That's way better than them cast downing a Sphinx, which they still have enough direct damage they could do something about. I think the plan is to try and run them out of cards, then get a Jace down. Okay, they get in for 2. We take 2, we go to 16, we untap and draw Sarah Sphinx. I think Cloud Reader Sphinx is more important than Sarah Sphinx to play now, because we'd like to scry into a land or an Everflowing Chalice, which would let us get to Karn, basically. Alright, land. I'm actually, I think, totally fine drawing land. So, pass the turn. Opponent has to make a decision whether or not they want to sack their board, or if their last card in hand's a cast down. Like, oh, they're going to do 2 damage to us by sacking Spellbomb to Orcish Vandal? That seems suspect. Big suspicion. Alright, opponent plays a Swamp. I don't think that was what the play was. I think the play was sacking Puzzle Knot and using Pyrite Spellbomb, and then untapping and hoping you drew something better and swinging for 3. They're shooting us again for 2. I'm trying to think if they could have like a big burn spell or something. Is there a burn spell in the set that we would have to worry about? Oh, okay, Brimstone Volley. Well, opponent is out of cards, so they sack Glimmervoid because they don't have any artifacts. Interesting. Because my opponent does not have any direct damage and does not have a creature with haste, I'm gonna unsummon the Salvager. If my opponent just like plays Salvager land, Jace Karn in quick succession will make this a very easy game. Opponent replays Defiant Salvager and a Welding Jar. Alright, that should be game over. Play a Plains, Fate Seal my opponent. We will not put a mountain on the bottom, because that means they will not draw anything that can deal with Karn. I know that generally drawing cards is better. In this particular situation, Fate Sealing is correct. 100%. Yeah. Because they had to have something that turn to hopefully get Karn out of the picture, and there was just no way they could. Alright, Gleaming Barrier in, Acre Wellspring out. And I think that's it, really. Kind of sad that we're in the 0-2 bracket right now, because this deck is so awesome. I probably could have made better picks, but like, I think we also just played some of the worst matchups this deck could have. Alright, we're gonna keep. It's a good hand, especially versus an aggressive deck. When it starts Mountain, we draw Shroom, play Chromatic Star, pass the turn. If Gleaming Barrier dies, that can get us the black mana for Shroom that we need. Play Orcish Vandal. We untap, we draw Corridor Monitor. Not bad. Play Gleaming Barrier. Pass the turn. We're going to try and get Everflowing Chalice on 2. No guarantee that that's possible, but we're going to try. Opponent plays a Defiant Salvager. Alright. Sanctum Gargoyle. Let's see if we can draw a land. Okay. This is good. So we end up having to kick this in only once, but this lets us leave up Metallic Rebuke. So they're playing something. Probably just going to get rebuked. They discard Salvage Titan. Yeah. So this is going to let them get in for a swing, but that Gleaming Barrier, they're going to have some real trouble getting through. Plus, our opponent had to discard action, and they're only getting in for 3 damage. We untap. We draw Sarah Sphinx. I think the play is to just Sanctum Gargoyle for a Chromatic Star. It's a decent blocker. Gets us back a cantrip. Pass the turn. So we're looking to basically get down Cloud Reader Sphinx next, because we'd like to manipulate our top deck and hopefully get ourselves some better cards. Our opponent did not keep a particularly aggressive hand, which is, I think, what they need in order to beat a deck like ours. Like, our last opponent was the same sort of thing, and they absolutely crushed us with early aggression. Alright. If we draw a land, we can just play Shroom and get back Sanctum Gargoyle, and then get back Gleaming Barrier. I kind of like that. If we don't, we can Cloud Reader Sphinx. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Alright, we get another Sanctum Gargoyle back anyway. Yeah, we're gonna play Cloud Reader Sphinx. Just gonna try and scry and hit mana. Everflowing Chalice and Island, both of those are mana. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm fine drawing both of those. We'll draw Everflowing Chalice next turn. This also does block quite effectively. Opponent scoops it up. They decide they can't beat us. They didn't even see Shroom, so... Alright, well, a little disappointing into the end result there, because this deck was awesome. We had Jace, we had Karn, we had Shroom. I think if you're drafting a deck like this, you need to be on the lookout for more early game interaction or stall. Gleaming Barrier was fine. Pongify, we didn't go up against any heavy mid-range deck, which is where Pongify would have excelled, because if you can take out a creature that's larger than the creature Pongify gives them, you get more value out of it that way. There was also no, combo piece that we had to interrupt with it, so I think taking Pongify was fine, but I don't think this was a time for it to shine. I really, really like this deck, and I'm sad that it didn't perform better than it did. We learned some things too. I feel like this draft has made me a better drafter, and I hope that it helped you to learn something too if you draft this format. So I tried to be better about the commentary on this one. I don't know if there was a noticeable difference. Hopefully there was. Hopefully it was not just droning narration this time. I tried to explain more thought process and strategy, what I'm hoping to draw, that sort of a thing. So if you watched and you noticed the difference and you liked it, please let me know. Leave a like, drop a comment, I'll respond. You can also follow me on Twitch, same username on there as you can find me on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're so inclined. It would mean the world to me if you did. We are actually getting a significant number of views on each one of these videos, and I've been getting more subscribers in the last 2 weeks than I normally do over a long period of time. So I'm very excited. I'm pretty stoked about that. Anyway, if you watch this long, you listen to me ramble, yeah, you're a wonderful human being, and I want you to know that I really appreciate it. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.